If you are one of those dissatisfied with the way things are going, you are probably on board with a third first emergence. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo released a statement on Tuesday, the 23rd day of January, where he proposed the formation of a movement that can help salvage the Nigerian situation. Well, the former president said the movement may not necessarily be a political party. 8 days after his statement, the movement was launched. On Thursday, the former president registered as a member. So coalition may not be the much talked about third force, but obviously in line with those seeking a political solution or challenging the business as usual mentality in governance or government. Let's get into the conversation now. My guest tonight on the program is a former federal lawmaker, member of the House of Representatives, and a former chief of staff to the former governor of Edo State, Honorable Patrick Obahiagbon. He joins us from our Benin studio tonight. Many thanks, Honorable Obahiagbon, for your time tonight on the program. Let's begin the conversation. If you look at the statement made by the former president on the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, he sort of dismissed his administration based on his performance, and he did say that the APC, the PDP are not viable platforms for Nigerians to look forward to in achieving the desired aims and objectives of governance. From your own perspective, what is your first assessment or your assessment of the former president's statement, the 18-page statement?
Well, let me say, press the same as quickly as possible. That is that after the yo-yo, after the razzmatazz, after the grey matter surrounding the declaration of the coalition for Nigeria by former President Obasanjo, President Matthew Okekeolaka Obasanjo himself, flesh has been added to the bones, first of all in Abuja, and secondly at Abeokuta. And former President Obasanjo himself calibrated and delineated the contours of what he meant by coalition for Nigeria. To start with, he has said that it's not going to be political, it's not going to be involved in politics, and that he himself will put away from that movement if that movement veers into the marshmallowian aqua of politics. If you ask me straight away, do we need a coalition that will elevate itself to a moral ombudsman? Do we need a rainbow coalition that will elevate itself into a moral and political customs realms with the swords of Damocles dangling coruscatingly on the political class? I would say yes. I agree with that fully. We saw what impact Nadeco made on our body politics. But my point of departure, and that becomes my objugation with the coalition for Nigeria as it is that were we to need a coalition, and we're a coalition to come on board that will question and poo-poo the excesses of a mobocratic political class, former President Matthew Okekeolaka Obasanjo himself will be one of the first targets whose activities while he was former president should be looked at. So for me, it is not just about forming the coalition, it is who are those forming the coalition. For me, I think we still need the beautiful ones that are still yet to be born. That is my initial reaction.
I mean, is really, I'm so glad that a few of your language is very much understandable this evening, and I'm very sure that a lot of Nigerians will be glad with that, your submission this evening, especially in straight English language. Would you say that your party, the APC, has lived up to expectations of Nigerians, considering how your party was received in 2015?
Nigeria is work in progress. I will be wallowing in a laughable aqua of self-political locus pocus if I go to Martin Olympus to asseverate that it is Eureka. It is certainly not Eureka yet, but the truth of the matter is that given where we are coming from, and that is what critics of this government do not want us to hyperbolize. Given where we are coming from, this government has tried. We were in the cusp of political liquefaction. We were in the cusp of moral topsy-turvydom. We were in the cusp of economic comatose. And so far so good. Yes, not yet the promised land, but from a quagmire of recession, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari has been able to remove the economy from the jugulars of recession and has breathed vital life force, elysium vitae, into Nigeria's economy. There were no doubt that on the issue of the rampaging Fulani herdsmen, we expect that Mr. President, and we wish that Mr. President will be more proactive in that area. But when you want to score President Buhari and this administration on security generally, I want to say it's a pass mark. But like I said, not to record all through.
Honorable Obahiagbon, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you are to score this government based on its performance on the first day he took office on the 29th day of May 2015 and today, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you are going to be fair and truthful to Nigerians who are watching you, millions of them right now, how would you score this government?
6%.
6 over 10.
6 over 10. And that is a very, very, and I'm being very, very strict here. And that is a very, very good one, given where we're coming from.
If you look at it, Honorable Obahiagbon, the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, did mention the issues of economy, which he says the president lacked a lot of capacity, according to the former president. He also highlighted the issues of herdsmen crises and the issues of appointment, which he said are lopsided, especially in the security appointment in this country. Do you agree with the former president on these issues?
The former president talked about a vaudeville of political indabas. One, he talked about the movement is a pressure point for good governance. The movement is about salvaging and redeeming the economy. He talked about the rule of God, or the rule of law, and he talked about order and governance. If you ask me, I would say President Muhammadu Buhari and the APC government has discharged their constitutional onus probandi in such a way and manner that they deserve a second term outing. When you talk about respect for the rule of law, when you talk about order and governance, that's why I said we cannot but look at the message and the messenger. Under whose administration did we have a vandalization and macadamization and laceration of the institutions of democracy? Under whose administration? That was under the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. So he cannot come to Martin Olympus and in Jabberwocky gobbledygooks, you know, be pontificating on the achievements or the comterendu of President Muhammadu Buhari.
I mean, as it stands, Honorable Obahiagbon, did the statement made by the former president, we know the impact of that similar statement he made on the government of former President Goodluck Jonathan. Did the statement he made on the government of President Buhari spell doom for the continuity of this government?
How can it spell doom for the continuity of this government? In any case, those who eulogized or even panegized OBJ's asseveration even missed his point. People thought that it was an animadversion of APC and thumbs up for PDP. No, the man did say that the difference between APC and PDP was one of a tweedledum and tweedledee. You know, he talked about the fact that even the menacing opposition party has shown more nuances, you know, for penetrating more into the laboratory aqua, you know, of political complacency, political apachism, you know, as characterized by his last national convention. So I don't think there is anything
Honorable Obahiagbon,
for APC there.
Let's take a breather. Let's take a breather. We do need that to stimulate some of your interventions, especially in the language of which you're communicating. We hope to get some mercy when we come back in terms of the expressions of Honorable Obahiagbon. Will we go into the issues of true federalism, what Honorable Obahiagbon makes of the party's interventions, and more on whether or not President Buhari should run in 2019? Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.